Hello and welcome back to the HH Gaming Podcast, brought to you by HellHades.com. Today I am joined by my co-host Paul, as ever, but also we have two special guests on the show today. We've got HellHades back again, and also for the first time we have ColdBrew joining us. Welcome, ColdBrew.
Hey guys, thanks for having me over.
Awesome. So for guys that don't know, ColdBrew actually works with our website. So he's actually one of the people who does the takeovers in our team. And we thought it'd be a great opportunity to get him on and talk about his channel, his Twitch channel, and content creation in general, I guess, around Raid Shadow Legends. So ColdBrew, maybe just to, I mean, let's pretend people in the community don't know who you are and don't know who, I mean, if they know who Armager is.
Travesty.
Chances are they know who ColdBrew is. So do you want to maybe give like a little introduction to yourself, like how you got into Raid, how you got into content creation and that sort of thing?
Yeah, how I got into Raid, it was just me in a lazy afternoon, just playing on my phone, trying to find a game, mobile game, to just play for a day and then delete it and then find another one. And I stumbled upon Raid and installed it, but I got hooked and I kept on playing it. And it was a couple of months later when I thought about, okay, maybe I can try and do a YouTube video on this game.
Yeah.
Just as a hobby and see how this goes. Because I thought I had it all figured out. I had like a seeker and a defense down team. I thought, oh, this is the perfect team for everyone.
Did you have Armager by then?
No, I did not have Armager.
He probably ate Armager by that point.
I wasn't even looking at uncommons at that time, and I got into content creator. I wasn't doing it at all serious. I was just doing a video every week, every other week, because I didn't even have my own PC then. I had a laptop which was pretty old. It barely could record and play the game at the same time because we had BlueStacks at the time. We didn't even have the Play and Play client. So it was pretty bad. But then the channel started growing, and I made a video on Spider, which was the one that helped the channel basically get lots of subs and get lots of following, because I helped lots of players like see the dungeon there, see Armager in the Spider dungeon, and find probably a useful champion for them to get Arbiter, because Spider 20 was one of the most difficult dungeons at the time.
Yep.
And then after that, I kept on doing more frequent videos almost every day. And then after a point, I just did daily videos, as almost everybody else does now in the YouTube community.
Yeah, HellHades sets the bar high for how much content you need to put out.
Like a machine.
Exactly.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Try.
Exactly. So if Hades is doing 2 videos a day, we have to at least do 1.
Yeah.
At least.
I've cut down now. Normally I'm like 1 or 2 now. So yeah, I've slowed it down a bit. But mainly 2.
Well, he's going on holiday next week as well, so you got an
he?
opportunity there.
Yeah,
Doesn't tell us
Probably
anything
recorded
anymore.
20 videos by now and has them
that's
ready.
this afternoon's job.
Yeah.
So more
Are
queued
you
up.
are you kind of close to going full time, ColdBrew, or is that something you even want to do?
I actually gave my notice like a week ago. No, 2 weeks
right.
ago.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but they want me to stay for a little bit longer, so I'll stay by the end of this month. So it's not the usual notice period. So
No, that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congrats,
I had it in my
Big
mind
step.
for a while, and I said, okay, I've got to do this, because I don't have any kids, so I don't have many obligations, and I can try and push and see where this goes.
Are you a bit nervous about that? 'Cause I know you're in like a grown-up's job. It's not like a proper job.
Yeah, like I work as a tax consultant, so it's like a career, but I've got a lot of experience in it. I've got 5 years in the job, and I've got my certifications and everything. So in case something happens and YouTube suddenly explodes and nobody is a content creator anymore, I can go back into it.
Yeah.
And just try and pick up where I left.
Now that's awesome.
That's cool, man. Congrats.
What kind of spurred you to make the choice to go full time? Is it like, as you said, it's very rare that you have the opportunity to do it. And it sounds like you're in a fortunate position that you don't necessarily have the commitments that, you know, a lot of people have with kids and things and things to support, I guess, with the income. But, you know, what is it that actually gave you like the push to actually like make the dive?
Well, the push was more like, okay, I'm starting to get into a good feel with the channel and how the community reacts, but I want to grow that. And if I kept on with my full-time job, I wouldn't have the time. Luckily, because of COVID, I did have the time. Because of COVID, I could work remotely, and I could work from home. But like I had discussions with my job, and they said, okay, you need to come back to the office. We're gonna slowly come back.
I don't want to do that.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. And they said, no, it's impossible. Maybe once a week you can stay at home. And I kept on thinking, no, there's no way I can keep on doing YouTube the way I'm doing it. And work at a job where I need to drive for an hour and then drive back for an hour. Plus 1 hour break. It's taking too much of my time, and it would need me to make lots of sacrifices. And it's also dangerous if you drive every single day, you're tired. I thought about it and I said, okay, this is the time to do this. This is the time to push for YouTube. And I did it. Awesome.
Cool.
No,
I think that's really cool. And it's actually fairly similar. I mean, I was kind of forced into the situation, but you know, making that jump, having the ability to pull all these things together during COVID. Obviously, COVID was an awful time for, you know, 99% of the world, but actually for businesses like ours, where we work in the online space, it gave us the opportunity to grow to almost new levels which were unheard of and reach audiences which weren't necessarily out there pre-COVID lockdowns and things like that. So, you know, create these new avenues for so many people to do really what they've been wanting to do for years and years and years, but never had the opportunity to do, tied in with the fact that we were spending so much time at home. You know, it gave you the possibilities to actually do it. So
do your company know what you do or what you're going to?
No idea. I haven't told them.
Or your
the
clients.
same for all of us, right? We've all said the same thing.
No,
not the same
online.
Well, it's funny. Like when I left my job, and again, I was in a grown-up job, in sales director role, and I didn't tell my boss what I was going to do, and obviously he's asking, like, he wants to know why I'm leaving this kind of secure job behind, and I was just like making up basically a load of crap because I was like, I don't want to tell you I'm going to go and talk about mobile games on a YouTube channel. I don't want to tell you that because if it goes completely wrong, I look like a fool and I'm a grown up and I shouldn't be talking about computer games on a YouTube channel. So it was really awkward, actually. It's quite funny.
It's difficult to try to like explain to people who don't live in the world of the same thing that we live in. Like for us, it's like someone said to you, I'm making videos on YouTube. It's like, okay, congrats. It's like whatever. But you explain to people who don't like play video games or have like, you know, kids and that, and they're a bit like, so what is it you're doing? I'm like, it's something to do with the internet. It's fine. Just don't worry about it. I could spend hours trying to explain it to you.
The next question is, and how do you earn money doing that?
Yeah. And how much?
And quickly followed by how much do you earn?
How do I do that?
That's the most important question you get asked is how much do you make? Because they trying to get a feel of is it worth it? Can I do that?
Is this sustainable?
But that's not always. It's not always the case that everybody can do it, but it's easy to make a YouTube channel, but it takes a lot of work and you don't see the benefits right away. So
you need a lot of commitment
for many from the start.
I think one of the biggest things is, or the most disheartening thing about starting is you almost expect that success overnight. You see what other people are making, you see what other people are doing, and you start doing it. And, you know, it is tiring to put out a video every single day. It you know, it's mentally draining to think of the ideas, to put the video together, to do the editing. You know, what a lot of people don't consider is that actually the process of putting the video together and actually getting it out on YouTube is equally as long as the actual recording process, if not longer.
Yeah, longer probably.
So all of this, you know, they may say see that you're putting up like a 5-minute video, but they're not taking into account that that's like 3 hours worth of work, if not more, to actually even produce that 5-minute video. And yeah, I think when you start putting these videos out and start putting content out there and it doesn't get that initial traction, it's very easy to be like, oh, well, you know, this isn't going to work for me, rather than actually looking at why it's not working for you. And as well as that, just giving it time to grow is the other massive thing, which I think people forget, that, you know, yeah, you can get this initial hype, but you need to then build on that, and you need to keep that flow growing over time. So ColdBrew, as somebody who's about to make the jump, and HellHades as somebody who made the jump about a year ago, what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to start creating content, not necessarily in Raid, but, you know, in anything? You know, if somebody's passionate about something and they would like to start a YouTube channel and they like that lifestyle of being a content creator, what piece of advice would you give them?
Do you want to go first, ColdBrew?
Yeah, I just want to say, just start. Don't care too much about your first video and the quality of the first video. I still have my first video on my channel. I didn't remove it, although it's very, very bad in terms of quality, the way I talk, like my confidence when I go over stuff on my very first video compared to now, where I got the hang of it and talking in front of a camera. Just make the first video and see how that goes, because it just make it. Just make the video, and you'll keep on growing. You'll keep on improving your quality, hopefully, and making better videos as you go on. Nobody becomes successful from the very first one. And about the lifestyle, you mentioned the lifestyle. The lifestyle is not as glorious as you might think.
It's not.
Like, if anybody's hearing and is like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, you just make a video and that's it. It's not always just you make a video and then you've got the whole day in front of you to watch TV. You build in the video, you think about ideas for other videos, you work on the background if you want to build a community. And since this is a game that we're doing content on, you actually have to play the game and still be knowledgeable about the game. And it's a lot of grind that you still have to do. And so it is a part of the job, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, absolutely, like, spot on points, to be honest. I've got a friend who's just starting out on Twitch, and where you say kind of just do it, I've been saying to him now for the last 2 months, just start to stream, just get going.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with a YouTube channel as well. It's like, just get it going, but don't worry so much about what equipment you've got. Do you have the right camera? Do you have this fancy camera? Do you have the fancy mic? Probably the microphone's more important than visuals. Like, so you got a fairly clear audio, but still you can use a headset mic, no problem. And yeah, get started is a great tip. But the other thing I would say is, like, be consistent and expect to work hard if you want to be good, if you want it to actually grow. You know, something you said earlier, like, it's pretty disheartening when you've put out a video every day. And this is what I see a lot of people do. They put a video out every day for maybe 2 weeks. And they're looking and they're thinking, you know what, I've only got 100 views on this, I've got 90 views here. And then you don't see that person put out another video for another 2 weeks. And then I get these people message me and say, didn't quite work the first time around, can you help me out? And I'm like, well, honestly, you didn't really have a first time round yet, because 2 weeks is nowhere near enough time for YouTube. Even if you're doing the best content, people can't find you yet. People don't know you exist. So it's just really about consistent grind. And, you know, ColdBrew said, be active in your own community. It's like, absolutely, you've got to reply to people's posts on your channel. You've got to get yourself in amongst the players, if it's a gaming thing or whatever the kind of sector you're in. You need to be immersed in a community. Otherwise, how the hell do people know who you are? Like, you know, how are they going to find your stuff?
Yeah.
I got a friend up
in Scotland who known him online for years, started on Twitch. And for the first 6 months, he had like 10 views, 12 views. Would try a bit of League, try a bit of this. And then he found his niche in Sonic speedrunning. And slowly, month after month, now he streams. He wants to, again, go full time, like ColdBrew is doing now, was working in a college, university campus as IT support. And now he's up to 150, 200 views every time he streams.
Cool.
And he's built a community, and he's got involved with like ADHQ, like games done quick and those kind of things. So it's kind of a similar story. It's like you can't just expect to walk in and get 1,000 Twitch views and start raking in the money. It just doesn't work like that. You've got to find something that you're good at, and a niche to some extent. You can't just expect to load up League of Legends or load up, I don't know, World of Warcraft or whatever the top games are, and expect people to come find you, because it's quite difficult. If you find a niche and then you create a community, and then that community will help you grow further, and then you get sponsorships, and then it starts to grow.
But even the point here, so I'm now what am I, like 20 months in, and does that mean I can just sit back and I've got an easy life? No, no. I'd still have to work just as hard if I want to get views on my videos. I still have to come up with novel ideas. Otherwise, people just get bored and they'll go somewhere else. And I've just kind of got like a steady growth from when I started. So I've not had like a crazy spike. It's literally just been steady growth month on month on month, literally since I started. And that's just because I'm consistent. I'm consistent with what I do. 1 or 2 videos a day. We joked about it earlier, but it
works.
Yeah. People know to come back to my channel at whatever time it is for them. For me, it's 11 a.m. That's going to be when you find your first video from me for the day. That's pretty much, that's the way I work with it. But
and then 2, and then 4.
Well, yeah, maybe another one 3 hours later if it's been a good day.
It's a patch day, so we can expect the 4th video today then.
Yeah.
Chop.
It's really about consistency and trying to put out videos that you would like to watch. So if you're not making something that you would watch, then how will somebody else watch it? So
it's also asking, like, what do people actually want to see and listen? So a lot of people make the mistake of just making content that they want to do, and actually you'll get more views and you'll get more following. I think if you ask what people actually want to see videos on, and then follow through and doing that. And a lot of creators, I think they can get a little bit tunnel visioned, really, on like, you know what, this is really cool, and it's really cool to you. It doesn't necessarily mean that the community en masse have got any interest at all.
I mean, that's another thing, especially with Raid Shadow Legends, is that I think a lot of people forget that probably about 80% of the player base in Raid aren't actively involved in Twitch chats. So I think a lot of people have like the collective opinion of the mass on Twitch, and they forget about the 80% of people who watch your videos. They don't comment, but they have interests in the game, but they don't play it on like that same level, I guess. I mean, you only have to look at the viewer levels in Twitch to see that versus YouTube. I mean, YouTube is so much bigger for Raid Shadow Legends than Twitch is. But Twitch almost seems more engaging because that's where the chat is. That's where people are really getting involved. Whereas actually most of the player base in Raid in as a whole don't even play it on a PC. They play it on the mobile. And what they'll do is they'll go to YouTube to either find out something about the game that they're stuck on, or to do a little bit of research into how they can improve. And I think that's why those sorts of videos are so successful versus the quirky little cheese strategies and things like that.
But I think it's good though to mix it up. Like sometimes try things and push yourself out of your own comfort zone.
Yeah, because what are you doing today? Just pushing yourself out of the comfort zone and joining us idiots.
Yeah. No, things like when old Frank comes on and does a video, like
I've missed Frank.
I hate doing stuff like that. Like I
hate
not
nearly as much
stuff.
as Lady H hates it.
but sometimes you just got to try something. Like it's like, you know what, this could be fun. How do people react to it? Is it worth doing again? Is or should you do something else?
So when you're on holiday, is Frank taking over your channel then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like a 1 week.
You should. You so should.
A bit like when when James Corden gets one of those One Direction kids on his talk show in America, and it's like, One Direction takeover is going to be like Flat Stat Frank takes over HellHades.com.
You're putting ideas.
What if I come
in
back
his
to a
head
channel? Don't I?
Yeah, that's true. Everyone's unsubscribed because they can't stand the man anymore.
Yeah. So moving on a little bit, if we move away from content creation as a topic and look more to Raid Shadow Legends, because at the end of the day, that's what all four of us play. Obviously, there's been a load of controversy in Raid over the past couple of weeks. The community has been in uproar about clan quests and the situation with that. As content creators, so from a content creation point of view, what's something that you guys would change about Raid in its current situation? Who wants to jump on that one first?
One thing.
Well, not necessarily one thing, but just
how long do you have?
Yeah. What would be the first thing that you would change? Say if you got into the boardroom with HellHades and Deadwood Jedi, and and you could have your voice, ColdBrew, and say, look, guys, you need to change this right now. What would it be?
Yeah, like if I would be in that position, I would just ask for something to keep on players playing the game, keep players, the player retention rate after a point seems to be very low. Yeah. There's not that many players who keep on playing the game after a specific level or after a certain period of time. They just quit. Mm-hmm. And I want to know, is that their goal? Is it something that they don't mind players quitting because they've got the value out of them? Or do they not see any potential future value out of players who play for a year, 2 years, instead of just having a brand new fresh player and just trying to get as much money out of him as possible? So that's what I would want to improve on for the game, for the longevity of the game as well.
That's an interesting concept, actually, because I definitely spend less now than I did when I started playing. I think you spend a lot of money trying to catch up with the end game sort of meta. But once you get there, you can actually play the game almost for nothing. It's almost your choice to spend money then, because you don't have to spend to keep up. But yeah, I definitely think that, even as somebody who spends in the game, I definitely spend less than I did 6 months ago.
I think there's a bit of psychology there, because there's two things I would say happen. So first thing is you'll have buyer's guilt. So when you first start playing the game, you're almost like, I can just buy some things. Great. After a while, you start realizing that what you're buying, you're not necessarily getting the value for. So you end up getting in this position of, every time I see a void pack come out, I'm like, I'm not going to get the champion I want. So therefore I feel bad about buying. So you get that kind of thing with like sort of legacy players, where eventually they're going to realize that the odds are stacked against them so much that when you spend a bit of money, you're going to regret that money anyway. Like I've stopped buying packs because
you've got the scars.
I mean, I like tomorrow's 10 times event is mental, and I know people will buy void shards. For me, I'm just like, not even going to bother, because I know what'll happen is I'll pull a dupe physics. I won't get the Siffy. It's not going to happen.
That's if you're lucky. If you get, that's if you get what I mean? Gold.
It's like the last Duchess 10 times it was a dupe grow hack. The Kaimar 10 times it was a dupe Pistoffer. So I think as you get through the game and you buy more packs and you pull more shards and you progress, one, you start getting better artifacts, which means you're less reliant on champions. And two, you start realizing that what you're buying is actually not worth the money you're spending to some extent, because you're not going to get what you want out of the packs, and you become a little bit more wised up to the strategies.
It's like when you're a kid and you touch something hot, you know not to touch it again.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of, I think
you still do a few times.
Yeah. And then you get drunk that one time and you're like, oh, it can't have actually been that hot.
Yeah. And then your brother dares you to touch it with your tongue.
Yeah.
That's called a pack string.
Yeah.
But like, what we got to remember is Raid is owned by a gambling company who earn billions and billions of dollars from gambling machines. So they would have people who are employed literally just to find the most efficient way to get people to continue using their machine, right? So they know, statistically speaking, when a player stops spending. So like, as you say in ColdBrew, like the chances are they know how much value they've got out of you and why they stop really caring about legacy players. As long as they hit that number, they probably go in. It's probably more efficient for me to just go and get a new player who will continue spending the big money, and rather than trying to keep the older player happy who's probably not going to spend money.
I do feel like they've over the time that I've played the game, they've absolutely like moved towards more end game things, like Doom Towers, Faction Wars, Doom Tower, and yeah, it feels like the game is kind of trying to evolve to keep people playing the game and keep people engaged for longer. And also, like playing the free-to-play account, the game's really not that difficult free to play. Like people massively over-egg how hard the game is free to play once you understand the game.
Yeah,
obviously that makes a big difference. But you know, now you get tons more stuff as a newer player. You progress a lot quicker than I ever did. I'm probably progressing quicker on my free to play now than I did when I was a paid player when I first started, I think.
Well, what you need to remember though about being a free to play player is that the most exhausting part of it is telling everyone that you're free to play, by the way.
Oh, you have to say it at least 10 times per sentence. So
and nobody ever believes you.
And also the stats and gear and things like that, they need to apply to a free to play player. So, you know, the game's actually
4-star
different.
Gear, minimum.
Yeah.
Can't play with 5-star gear. That's against the rules. That's clearly whale.
It's like, how do I build a clan boss team? I'm free to play, by the way. It's like, well, does it make any difference that if you spend or not, you still need to know how to build a clan boss?
Literally have like one void shard, pull, I don't know, a man eater in your first void shard, and then you've got a clan boss team on the go. Like, but I was thinking about this last night. When Clan versus Clan came out, we were all sitting there going, "This is terrible. It's whale wars. People are going to just spend to win and all this kind of." But actually, when you look at it now from the free to play perspective, like, you don't really give a damn about whether you win the tournament as a free to play player or even like lower level clans. Like reaction gear, unless you're pushing plat, is kind of irrelevant. Really, you're not going to really care about reaction in Gold 4. You just re-roll it until you get a bot pitch. Those rewards that you're getting, energy, pots, XP, it's kind of mental, really. It's probably meaning that you never have to buy an XP reward because every 2 weeks you're getting like a 6-day, a 3-day, a 1-day, and stuff like that. From a clan versus clan perspective, did we just miss the mark in terms of thinking at it from a top level and go, well, actually, it was always a system designed for these? Like,
it definitely wasn't. I think it was designed to. I mean,
just throwing it out there.
Have you seen the amount of points? So one of our mods in my Discord is part of the Mad Clan, and they got their name right for sure when you look at their point scoring. Where is it?
You post, it was like.
Anyway, it was an insane amount of points that they got, like 20 odd million points.
Oh, here we go. Wow, so they had Immortal, Elite, free to play, of course. Mad, 23,626,000.
Yikes!
Just think about that for a second. The average player, if you just do your daily grind without spending, you're probably going to get close to 300,000 points per person.
I'd say it's quite high, like
200 to 300.
I'd say 200 to 300, maybe 300.
So say even if it was at top end, 300. Everyone in your clan does that. That's what, 9 million. Yeah.
Well, the top player in Mad got 2 million on his own.
It's insane.
And their opponent had someone who popped 3.1 million.
I think that was Plarium's dream. That's what they want, is those guys to, because that's a lot of that's going to be shards, books, gems, all of that type of stuff. That's how they're getting the big points, because they don't even have great halls that can be upgraded. Like, that's done.
Yeah.
So
it's basically buying gem packs, converting into ancients, feeding the dupes from rares for books, and then repeat and keep going, because that's how you add the points. Like, it's still booking. It's still the best way. You haven't got time to do anything else.
But certainly from a new player perspective, and I'm seeing it on the free to play a lot, I can't wait for those things to come round, because like you say, energy, shards, chickens, it's actually great. It's great for a newer player.
So you could kind of argue like the system's perfect for raid.
Maybe.
They're whaling in money and they're making free to play players happy. Have they like cracked it?
Yeah, I still think, going back to the original question, like, there's probably two things that I would absolutely push to drive for in this game. And one of them is what I thought the clan versus clan should have been, which would be like a proper clan versus clan competitive scene. And I still feel like there should be something along the lines of what you get in Clash of Clans, where you're literally pitching 15 versus 15. You have to choose someone that you're going to attack, or your team chooses who they're going to attack, which would be quite a cool system. So, you know, and I think even just 100% copying their model would work. Or I've heard something else bounded around, which is quite cool as well, where you have almost like a Doom Tower, where every floor is, or every level is one of your opponent clan defenses. And when you actually lose somebody, that person can't be used again. Maybe you can only select so many champions, like 30 champions. When one of them dies, they can't come in again. And you kind of push through as far as you can, each player. You get points for how far they get. I think that would be quite cool. But the other thing missing from the game, which I think more people would cry out for, is just like a book system. Just some way to have a better way of getting like epic
that
books.
void tower that they haven't developed yet.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's so ridiculous that we get all of these champions coming in and really so few people that don't spend a load of money. They just can't really, they leave people in their vault, not because they're bad, but because they can't utilize them. Like, they can't get all the, and every champion right now is the 2 books for cooldowns on this, a book for cooldown on this. Like, you can't really just run champions without those books, a lot of them. So that's for me the biggest one. Just to, that would balance the game out a lot more, I think, and keep people engaged for longer.
Yeah, that's what made me do like lots of content in the beginning in terms of videos, just trying to get as much value out of lower quality champions, because you didn't need to put so much money into those champions, either in terms of time investment, or just straight up buying packs. Like, you don't need to buy all those book packs to get a rares team or some uncommons in your team to finish off some content. And it comes back to, if I didn't have the problem with books, maybe I wouldn't ever think of using uncommons and rares, you know, because I would go, okay, I can book this champion and that's gonna fix my issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, books is a huge issue with the game, and yeah, so, I don't know how they would fix it though.
See, my improvement would be, I think that currency has just gone crazy since they brought 3v3 out. Like, there's so many different types of useless currencies that we don't have things to buy, or what, like, you know, we think 3v3 gold bars, apart from a few things in that shop, we don't really care about like 10,000 silver. That's really going to help. And now that we got a clan shop on top of a marketplace that doesn't work, it's just, to me, like, it's crying out for, get rid of the clan shop, get rid of the bazaar, get rid of the marketplace, and make a central like marketplace where you can like burn your dupes into some sort of generic currency that you can use to find fragments for the fragment fusion you missed 10 fragments on, or you can make it into a book, or you can make it into a shard, or make it into core hammers, or you make it into stuff that people actually want, not a little bit of energy or a little bit of silver, or here's 1 XP brew for 300 gold bars that you spent really a long time peeling your eyes out doing 3v3 for. Because what you end up now is, I've got to go and get like gold coins from clan quests to be able to get my Yannicka fragments, but I also still need to do gold bars to be able to get the currency from 3v3. I've got a marketplace which gives me 5 or 6 ancient shards a month, and then I don't use it because it's really pointless for late game. If we just like combine them all together, it's almost like a generic currency, and there you solve the dupe system then, because if people can burn their dupes into a currency of a decent exchange rate, and then that will give them like a reward that they would want, then I think that it solves the problem all around, because I can't imagine the dupe system is going to work if they're suggesting that you can make a giga-powered Siffy. Some people have like 12 Siffies. I'm not being, I can't see how that's going to be like.
My Whirlim's going to be like off the charts.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, Whirlim's off the chart, but it's
the
just,
Lich
like,
King rises.
I mean, I think Mac-Chan's got like 5 the Greats.
Really?
Like, how can you compete with that at all? Like, if that's going to make them stronger,
it's silly.
It's just, you're basically creating a huge gap. So that's what I would
as well,
do.
Because even with Yannicka coming into the new shop, obviously we've got Drex in the bazaar. They're actually both good champions. Like, they're not bad champions to put in these things, but it's just a kick in the teeth if you've either already got them, already pulled them for a shard at some point along the way.
Yannicka was my first legendary.
Yeah, it's like, so where's the interest for you? And also hate this with a passion. I came across it last night on stream. Like, if I've got enough stuff right now, just let me spend it today.
Yeah.
Don't make me wait 20 weeks to do Yannicka.
And it's getting longer. Like, Drex was 100 days.
100
Yannicka's
days
140 now.
Yeah, it's like why? If I've just let me spend my stuff when I've got it. Don't make me wait. I wanted Bloodhorn yesterday. I got to wait 10 days for a bloody Bloodhorn. Like, who's got that sort of time for a Bloodhorn?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Cleopteryx is what, 4 months? So that's what, like 36. That's 120 days plus, give or take.
Mm.
So you're talking that they've basically decided now that Drex was too quick. Can't have it that fast. So now you got to wait even longer for champions that, okay, they're all great champions, but like it's not like Yannika's a new champion. At least Cleopteryx has been released in the reasonable future. But I do think that people who've got Cleopteryx are probably sitting there going, well, you took away my Sacred Shard and gave me a champion I already got. Great.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
Exactly. Like, I've got an issue in my free to play. Like I did get Drexar, and once I got Drexar because of the 100 days or more, actually way more, because I would forget to pick up the fragment. And now that I do have Drexar, I have so much gold bars from just doing 3 for the dailies on the free to play that I don't have anything to spend them on. I'm still in bronze 3v3 arena, and I'm like, okay, I could have gotten Drexar way earlier if they just let me buy them more than once a day.
Yeah.
And
what a better experience for you as well as a player. Like,
right. So you don't need to stop players through these time limits. Just let the players do what they want. And then we have the same issue now with the Doom Tower, like the Dark Hell.
Oh yeah,
Kyle or whatever they call him.
Was it Kyle? Yeah.
Something like that,
come
right?
from? I mean, Kale in League of Legends has got a Y in it, and it's still called Kale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that guy, you need to complete the normal Doom Tower so many times over, I don't know how many months. At least
it's 3 months for one champ. So it was originally 9 months. Yeah. So
12 months to pick up that champion. And by that time, if you haven't quit the game, then you probably have something already that helps you go through the content that you would have used at Dark Hell.
Yeah, I would much prefer if they let you just
pick the champion,
choose the champion you want to take.
Yep.
If you've earned the medals, let someone choose. Like, because for me, maybe the AOE HP burn is more important than anyone to that champion, to that person. But if they've already got someone that does the skill, then it's probably back of the list. So yeah, I don't get
if
this
I haven't got
prescriptive thing.
Madame Cerise, Rian the Conjurer right now looks amazing.
Yes,
it's equally, if not, and it could even be argued better if you've got a really strong nuker that doesn't require decreased defense, because it's a 3-turn cooldown with Weaken, and she's also got that AOE revive with the flame dude and the weird golem that shouldn't be an undead. So yeah, I would be like sitting there thinking, well, I don't really need. I suppose the first 3 Doom Tower epics are all really good for different reasons, but you might already have like Mordecai, so therefore Akoth the Seed is not that much value to you. But you haven't got Ceres and you want Rian. And I think the other problem is just like aging. Like, you think Doom Tower hard. By the time I get Vassal of the Seal, we're talking, I can't get, if I do every secret room now in hard, which is difficult because some of them are just like not worth the effort. By the time I get to, well, it's the last one, like Gorlock, it's going to be 2022. So you're saying I need another 9 months just to get to Vassal of the Seal. He's going to get, like, there's going to be new champions coming into the game that are going to do what he does, but better. Like, you're never going to use him. So they've created all this effort and development time and different things. And by the time you get him, you're going to sit there and go, don't need him now.
Yeah.
I'm never going to play him. And there's no interest anymore. So you're not even going to, like, there's no point making a video on him because, like, half people can't get it.
Content creator, you want to show off new champions, you want to show off what's going on in the game. And someone said to me, I noticed you haven't got a guide yet on one of the guys from Doomtown. I'm just like, I'm not that interested to make sure that I do every single secret room myself. Who else is going to do it? If I'm not doing it, what's the chances of the average player doing it? Like, it's just getting past the second champion for 99.9% of the player base is almost just never going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, especially those secret rooms that need you to have rare spirit champions.
It's so different. It's weird. Like, it's like the clan quest. They sit there and they go, okay, I've noticed they've updated it today to say 49 times you need to survive in the clan boss. Like, that's easy. You basically run any unkillable comp and you're going to get to that. And then you have one, it's like you can only use rares from a specific faction. I'm like one does not equal the other. And it's the same thing in the secret rooms. One of them is like use void legendaries.
There is
voids,
a solution to that one though. You just challenge HellHades to do it.
Yeah, I did say it depends on how quick they fix it, but I did say you might get stuck with the hard ones now going forward.
Yeah,
it's a difficult one.
It's actually quite funny because Never actually posted to me with the second we unlocked that quest. He sent it to sent a message saying, "What the hell is this?" And then about 2 seconds later, he goes, "I know what it is. It's a video for Simon." And then I think he sort of slipped it into the other Discord, and everyone started challenging you to achieve it. Yeah. But in fairness, you did prove that it's more than achievable by, doing Dragon 20 with Skinwalker rares and only using 3 of them to do it.
Yeah, so, it was actually good fun to do. But see, like me ColdBrew and Stu, we used to do these challenges, where we was we'd take on Ice Golem with just epics or 2 rares, 3 epics or whatever.
Yep.
And I love that sort of stuff. But I actually love it. The hardest thing is, do you have the rares anymore? I pretty much burn all of my rares now because there's just no point to keep them. So it came to this, and I was like, "Well,
space.
I've got two, and then luckily I pulled one more through a couple of shards."
Yeah, I mean, I like those challenges, but I think as long as those challenges aren't tied to requiring the rewards, like when they did that first Dragon tournament where it was like you had to use like rares or something, I was like, are you off your rocker? Like, most people can't do it, and most people don't want to have to be forced to do it to get the rewards. But if you make it so that you get something for doing it that isn't like dependent on you doing it, then it's a difficult thing to balance. But it's fun then, because it is like that's the idea of the secret rooms, is to try and force you into different strategies. And as long as they're not unreasonable, like rare spirit attack, like whatever it is, like, and the flaws you face are so ridiculous. If you get hit once, you're dead. Like, come on. It's not worth the effort unless you really got min-max gear, then it's okay. But again, even then, like the fact that I can't pick the champion in the Doom Tower means that if I don't do a room and I miss, like, I think if you miss basically 2 secret rooms in a 3-month rotation, you effectively have to wait an entire rotation kind of to get, you're basically on a 4-month cycle then in that sense, because you've missed your minimum to get in that 3-month window. So every room you miss, every rotation, you just like slowing yourself down.
It would be quite cool because it's so hard to get so many champions like leveled up to do that type of stuff. It would be cool if you could almost select, I don't know, two subs, and you just click on the index, the 2 people you want, and they'll come to your account at level 50, just to come in and help you do that content. Like, they're not your champions; they're just coming in.
It's more of a challenge mode sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you can have the champions for that content, but only for that content.
Yeah, you can have like a couple of fillers that come in and just help you get through it. That'd be quite
fun. What you're basically talking about is like a system like you see in Ultimate Team, where it's like I'll buy this player for like 2 matches, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
You basically say, I want to buy, I don't know, I need to do this bit of content. I'll buy for a premium currency Siffy for 1 day. Then I can do whatever I want, and then afterwards the gear gets handed back to me and I lose the champion.
Well, in Summoner's War, actually, every single person sets a like a friend champion, and anyone on your friends list can borrow that champion for 1 challenge per day, which I think is a really cool system. That if you had a friends list and your friend had 1 champion that you didn't have, I don't think from memory you can use it in like PvP content, but it's only PvE content. But you basically have another list above your bars of champions of your friends' champions that they've got on like loan to you, and you can use them once per day. And I just think that's a really cool concept.
Yeah, it's good.
That's how you make more innovation in the game, rather than just make a system which is go run Dragon 20 times. Which is
because I
what they do.
I can remember in the past, I couldn't tell you which champion it was, but I was stuck on a certain area of the game in Summoner's War. And I actually said to my friend, "Oh, can you just swap your champion to this champion so that I can get through it?" And he would literally just swap his like loner champion for the day. And I would make use of that and then progress through the game. Oh, we lost ColdBrew for a second there.
We lost him for a second.
Nah, I'm back.
Hey.
I'm back.
His internet's ColdBrewing him.
Yeah. His internet needs a ColdBrew.
I upgraded my internet. I upgraded it to the fastest thing we've got.
What internet speeds have you got? Just out of interest.
Now it's 100 download and 30 upload.
Okay, I mean that's not
about
awful.
what the UK gets.
Yeah.
And then you go to Sweden, they get like 500 download for like the same price, and you're just like, okay, I'll move to Sweden.
I think I've got about 500 down, but the difference is I've only got about 30 or 40 up, and it's because I live in the middle of nowhere. I live so far away from the internet exchange that my upload is just awful. Even if I pay a fortune for internet, it's just not any good.
That's what I pay now for this. it's like 80 euro per month.
Okay.
Just for internet, and it's the most expensive thing we've got, but slowly they'll get fiber here.
Slowly. So I think the last topic we should talk about is this 10 times. It's got to be discussed, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Siffy 10 times.
I was going to say, I've been too busy this morning, so I've seen people talking about a mad 10 times, but I haven't actually seen what's in it.
So I've kind of a
it's
hot
not just
take.
Siffy though, is it? You got Bad L, who would have been like if Bad L was in there by himself, people would have been raving about Bad L.
Sathalia.
Yeah, Sathalia's great. You've got two great epics as well, Aox and Vodoff. Rector's not bad as an epic as well. Like, they just seem to be way more, I guess, like brutal with these 10 times. It's like, we know they're not a good thing to do, but do you want these?
Yeah. It's like, we know you're saving your shards for next week, but...
Yeah.
The trend I've noticed lately is they put really good like Void champions after the Void times 2, or they put really good offers from the Sacreds after the Sacreds time 2, when they know you haven't got any shards. Like they're doing it deliberately, and like I don't blame them. I mean, it's good business practice.
It makes
dangle
sense.
the carrot and they'll buy the carrot. But my hot take on this actually is I don't think that Siffy is as good or as number 1 champion anymore.
Ooh, controversial.
She's not number 1 now.
So if you gave me an option between like Sathalia and Siffy, I think I would pick Sathalia. That's my hot take.
That's taking it a bit far there.
I've got two Sathalias. You can have it.
The reason why I
say
Siffy, that, and this is like, if you said to me there's a Siffy and a Rotus, if you said to me it's a Siffy and a Rotus together, it's a different story, because it makes Rotus like GigaFed ridiculous. Like, you can't control him, you can't deal with him. But on her own, I think Sathalia has more power because of the fact that if she's built correctly, she can destroy an enemy team's ability to kill you. Because the cleanse and 2 meter drop is just insane. The single target heal on a 2-turn cooldown is insane. And like, I've seen Sathalia's just basically survive constantly. You just cannot kill them. Whereas a Siffy, eventually, like, if I wanted to deal with a Siffy, I could just bring 2 Inquisitor Shamaels and it's done. And technically, you could do that with Sathalia as well. But I just don't think Siffy on her own anymore is as broken, because she doesn't fill as much turn meter as Sathalia does. I think Sathalia does fill turn meter, doesn't she? Or she just drop? One of the two.
She does both, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think she fills as much as Sathalia. So I'm just like, and I look at it as like accessibility. The chances of you getting a Void Legendary on a ×10 is like, how much money do you want to like spend from your bank account?
But isn't it actually the point that a Void Legendary, you've got a reasonable chance, whereas a normal Legendary, you've got like next to no chance, even on a ×10, because there's just way less Void Legendaries.
Because there's so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, the odds are so much better.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, that CFA one.
I don't think it's like
crazy
that.
Zap, you're sleeping. You're sleeping.
I don't know. Like, you can block debuffs.
Take a nap.
She doesn't need accuracy, but you can put block debuffs up. And there's a lot of champions now, like Ceres does block debuffs, Brogni block debuffs. Like, I can easily go into that, knowing that she's probably not going to go first, because unless she's in a specifically fast team, you know, not many top teams run them super, super fast anymore. Like, you can probably just like block debuffs, and then what can she do? She's going to heal you a little bit. Like,
I think she's evil.
Like, if you said to me, do I want a Warlord or a Siffy? I'm going Warlord every single day of the week, but I suppose that's a different conversation.
Oh
again.
yeah, Warlord has good uses now.
It's actually ridiculous.
Always had many uses, but
I don't know what it was this last times too, but in the clan, everyone was pulling Warlords, and I was sitting there, I was thinking, I can't even pull, like, all I pulled was 2 Tolfs. I was like, thanks. I can halve someone's HP. It's great. Can't do anything else. We had like 5 players pull a Warlord this weekend out of reasonably small amount of shards.
I don't think anyone can beat Lockers' pulls. And he seemed really disappointed.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, I only got a seer and a warlord and another legendary of some sort.
But I really wanted a man-eater.
Yeah.
just like, Jack, come on. Like,
I was literally just pulling shards to get Urgrim.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah.
I think Urgrim might be more useful than a Siphi. I'm being controversial now, but
you
definitely are. Like,
it's like what are you going to use? Like, if I've got a choice between Brogni and Siphi, I probably use Brogni more often than not in all my content because the shield grow is too powerful. Yes, you lose the revive, but the fact you can't remove his shield, like I think the choice in terms of like the support role, Brogni does better, and then you've got the block debuffs as well. Okay, you don't get increased defense, but actually I'd prefer increased attack because most of my champions are going to do that. I don't know. I just think like Urgrim, you'd put him into every single PvE content and watch him solo the world. So apart from Spider.
Yeah, he's a great new epic added. So 1 out of 18 new champions is great.
Yeah. Every other champion.
Actually, no, the 2 void legendaries are good as well.
Yeah.
Actually. And I actually think, yeah. So when I did the math on Leorius to Proud, for example, he's a weird one because he has to be on low HP. Otherwise, he's not going to do as much damage. So
yeah,
he's
got
a lot of
that
fun
passive. So
yeah. I mean, I was actually looking at Frenzy set yesterday. Just a bit of a side note. I was looking at Frenzy set yesterday to try and figure out the math when I was doing the video on artifact sets. And I actually came up with this crazy idea of having a Frenzy Leorius set because he gets unkillable. You can't control him. And then he gets like if you take him down to 1% HP, he gets like 190% turn meter fill. So it's like just
run him. He definitely goes in there.
Yeah, and he doesn't need decreased defense because he will do more damage than Trunder if he's at full. I think he's like about what's the math in my head now? He's about 5% weaker than the Trunder 8-3 when he's at 50% HP. So on that math, if you basically run him down to 1%, he probably doesn't need decreased defense. If Trunder doesn't need decreased defense,
yeah.
So, and also obviously his A2 it's harder and his A3 places weakened, so you could still get the damage potential. But
so now we just need you to get him, and we need a Force Science Club on him.
I'm actually going to start farming some Frenzy sets, believe it or not. I used to sell it all, but I actually think there's some weird mechanics you could do with Frenzy now with some of the new champions out there that could actually kind of like just be a bit mental and go second teams. Like we always used to use Morley as a strategy. Well, it's kind of crazy when you think if you lose 25% of your HP, you get 50% turn meter fill. Like that's a lot of turn meter fill. Like you're almost guaranteeing that your champion's going to go next, especially if they're using like an Umbral who does a little bit of damage, but it's never going to kill you. You'll just overtake the team. Is that better than a Morley? Possibly. Just throwing it out there. Bit of a caveat, sidebar. Carry on.
Awesome. So, guys, I think we'll wrap it up there for this episode. It's gone on a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it's been awesome to catch up with everyone and hear the opinions. ColdBrew, thank you so much for joining us today. You're more than welcome to come back anytime and chat with us wonderful people, of course. But for the guys watching, please, again, do subscribe to the channel. If you do like the content, we release this podcast every Friday. Goes out on YouTube and on Spotify. So if you are interested in following it on Spotify, you can do that there as well. But yeah, until then, thank you for everyone who's been here today, and we will see you in the next episode.